Hi, boys and girls and families. Now I'm going to take you through a read-through of Big Al by Andrew Clements and Yoshi. So again, I'd start off with author, author, what do you do? I write the words in the book for you. Illustrator, illustrator, what do you do? I draw the pictures in the book for you. And go over again how Andrew Clements, we could even clap that out. Andrew Clements is the author. He wrote the word. And Yoshi, let's clap that one out. Yoshi drew the pictures. He is the illustrator. So now for the first read through, I just read through as I would read any other book. Big Al by Andrew Clements and Yoshi. In the wide blue sea, there was a very friendly fish named Big Al. You could not find a nicer fish. But Big Al was also very, very scary. Other fish seemed to have at least one friend. Some had many. But Big Al had none. He did not really blame the other fish. How could he expect little fish to trust such a great big fish with eyes and skin and teeth like this? So Big Al was lonely and cried big, salty tears into the big, salty sea. Right? So Big Al is lonely because he doesn't have any friends. Because he's so much bigger than the other fish. But Big Al really wanted friends, so he worked at it. First, he tried wrapping himself with seaweed. He thought it was a great disguise, but no one else did. Who wants to stop and talk to a floating plant that has big, sharp teeth? So Big Al is trying to make friends. He dressed himself up in seaweed, but it didn't seem to work. Then he thought that if he puffed himself up round like the other fish would laugh and see how clever and silly he could be. All they saw was how big he could be, and they steered clear. So now Big Al is trying to make friends by making them laugh, but they just got more scared because he got so much bigger. Very early one morning, Big Al went down to the bottom and flapped and wiggled himself into the sand until he was almost covered up. He looked much smaller. When other fish came near, Big Al talked and joked with them and had a delightful time. But then one scratchy little grain of sand got stuck in his gills and he sneezed. When the clouds of sand cleared away, all the other fish were gone. So he tried to hide, and he was talking to the other fish while he was hiding under the sand. But then he had a great big sneeze, and he came out, and the other fish were very scared again. Big Al even changed his color one day so he could look like he belonged to a school of tiny fish passing by. He bubbled along with them for a while, laughing and feeling like he was just one of the crowd. But he was so big and clumsy that when all the tiny fish darted to the left and then quickly back to the right, Big Al just plowed straight ahead. He went bumping and thumping right into the little fish. Before he could even say, "Excuse me," they were gone, and he was all alone again, sadder than ever. So he changed his colors, and he was in the school of fish, and it was working out until he bumped into all of the other fish, and then they were scared again. Just When Big Al was starting to be sure that he would never have a single friend, something happened. He was floating along sadly, watching some of the smaller fish, and was wishing they would come closer. As he watched, a net dropped down silently from above, and in an instant they were caught. What do you think Big Al is going to do? Big Al forgot about being lonely, and he forgot all about being sad. His eyes bulged out bigger and rounder than ever, and with a mighty flip of his tail, he opened his mouth and charged straight at the net. The net was strong, but Big Al was stronger. He ripped right through it, and all the little fish rushed out of the hole. So Big Al saved the fish from the net. How do you think that the fish are going to feel? But when Big Al tried to turn around and go out of the hole, he got all tangled up in the net. He was stuck. The net went higher and higher toward the bright surface of the sea, and the little fish watched Big Al as he disappeared above them. When the little fish were able to speak again, all they talked about was the huge, wonderful fish that had saved them. How great to be free! But what a shame that the big fellow had been captured. What do you think the little fish are going to do now for Big Al? Just then, there was a tremendous crashing splash above them, and the small fish dashed away. Was it the net again? Not at all. It was Big Al. Those fishermen took one look at him and threw him right back into the ocean. Not even the fishermen liked how Big Al looked. And now there is one huge, puffy, scary, fierce-looking fish in the sea who has more friends than anyone else. Big Al. The end. So you see at the beginning of the book, there's no Big Al in this picture. At the end of the book, Big Al made friends. How did Big Al end up making friends? Was it because he changed the way that he looked or the way that he talked? No, it was because he saved the little fish and he was genuine and kind to them. So they wanted to be his friend. So that was the first read through of Big Al. In the next video, I'm going to go over how we talk about characters and clapping things out. Thank you.